Hey everybody, it's Chris with Life 180, and I'm here with Caleb with Better Wealth again. We're up here in Denver at the Better Wealth Studios, and so Caleb and I were just having a conversation about the way that most people make major purchases. Now, there's a lot of debate out there, a lot of passionate opinion about, cash is king, Dave Ramsey paying cash, right? There's a lot of people that say if you can get 0%, finance it every time. There's a lot of people that believe that if you can get anything under 4%, you should do that every time, simply because if you can't beat 4% with your money, like it's basically free money, you take inflation into consideration, all these different variables, they believe that. Well, I'm here to tell you, and Caleb's here to tell you, that it's not so clean. And we just want to dialogue a little bit about it, to talk about the different variables that really should be coming into play in your thought process when it comes to making a major capital purchase. Whether that's doesn't matter in this instance, I don't think, if it's an appreciating asset or depreciating asset or anything. It's just, in general, what's the cost of doing business, right?
And I talk a lot about what you buy versus how you buy it. In this case, you can justify your purchase.
Hey.
I will talk about how you buy it.
We're going to use my example. I just made a purchase that we're going to talk about. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, so I think I'm glad that you talked about that. There's a difference between how versus what. Right now, whether you buy a depreciating asset or a cash flowing asset or a growth asset, you have to figure out the asset, and then you have to figure out how to pay for it.
All right, so you want to get into this?
Yeah. You want to hit the camera?
You want to give me a hard time about my purchase?
I'm going to enjoy your purchase.
So full transparency, everybody. I just purchased my new baby. This is for all you who aren't aware, I'm really big into off-roading, and I have a Jeep, and it's outside of my wife and my kids, it is the second love of my life, and I enjoy it immensely. We do a lot of off-roading, and so this little Black Series camper trailer is the new addition to the family, and so I just purchased it, and super excited about it. My kids are pumped about it, and we're going to do a lot of camping, social distance at its finest, and so we're going to have a conversation, and this is actually what kind of skewed this conversation, or started this conversation in the first place. So we're going to have this conversation, and I'm going to be as transparent as possible, and talk about everything. So,
So the first thing is, you made that decision. We're not going to judge you on this decision. Ironically,
thank you.
It's actually going to be an asset that you're going to cash flow.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that as we go, because I didn't do this by accident. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily care what he buys at this point. Now I'm talking about how you purchase it. So what was this? This is normally a $30,000 trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it was listed for $25,000.
Yeah. MSRP was $29,995. We'll say 30 and it was listed at $24,995. We'll say 25 for the sake of conversation.
Thank you.
I have
and then what purchase? Because you came in with cash. What purchase did you actually get the vehicle for?
$19,995. So 20.
We're gonna say 20,000. Thank you. Okay, so the point is this: a lot of times when you have access to capital, you get to determine the price, and you get to bring down the price. One of the things that we're gonna talk about is I see a lot of people out there talking about 0% loan. And when someone asks me, Caleb, should I do a 0% loan? My answer is first is more of a question: is it a true 0%?
Right.
Because if yes, yeah, go for it. In most cases, it's not a true 0%. They're lying to you, and I want to show you exactly how you can show what the actual rate of return is, because they could have offered you a 0% loan, and you'll find that it's not 0%.
Well, and I want to piggyback on that a little bit, and it's so you really don't know if it's 0% until you have the cash to call their bluff, right? Yep. I would have never known. I was talking price with them all day long. He had no idea I was a cash buyer. He didn't care, quite frankly. Let's face it, very few people are cash buyers. Yep. So he just assumed I was gonna be looking for some sort of financing, and it was $24,995. I had talked him down a couple $100, but ultimately
he was assuming you were gonna finance.
He was assuming I was gonna finance, and so even if he hit me with, "Hey, listen, normally it's 5%." But I can get you 0%.
Right.
That, for most people, would move the needle and make it happen. But here's the deal. Let's take a look.
So here's what we're gonna look at the 0%, and so let's just say this guy was like, all right, I'm gonna give you a 0% loan for $25,000 trailer.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's amazing.
Sweet.
Okay. So what I'm the nerd here, and I'm going to look at you have a $25,000 trailer, okay, and we're gonna say over a five-year time period,
60 months.
60 months, and we're gonna say 0%. And so the monthly payment is $416.
Okay.
We'll just take out the 67 cents. Okay. So right now this 0% payment would be $416. Okay. That's it. That is a true 0%. He's not lying to you. The problem is he's talking about this purchase.
25,000. Yep.
Because Chris was able to come in with cash. Now, here's the cool thing about the and asset is if this is the first time you're at this channel, welcome. We like to talk a lot about money strategies. I wrote a book called The And Asset. It's on how people can save their money into overfunded life insurance and then give them access to capital to use. Whether you use a savings account, whether you use that strategy, you get a bargain. And so really what you were able to come in is you bought the vehicle for less than this, but we'll just say
20.
round it up.
That's fine.
20,000.
Yep.
If we do the same calculation, a 0% on 20,000, you have a payment of $333.
Yep.
So the point that I'm making is we got to be careful that we're hearing the full truth, because whenever you're making a big purchase, number one, you want to figure out the lowest price, the cash price, and then number two, you want to talk about the terms. I will, just for fun, make fun of Chris a little bit because of how he purchased it, but I want to be very clear that he got a good deal. Now, how do we actually figure out what the true deal is? Okay, you could have got this vehicle for $20,000. That was like the cash buy.
Sure.
But if the trailer was $25,000 at that 0%, that payment, it's all about the payment. So what we're gonna do just for fun is we're going to say you put in this trailer is $20,000 because that's what you got it for, but you're actually going to pay them their 0% loan at their payment, $416.
Yep.
And so what you'll find is that loan that was 0% actually was here. Hold on. Was 9.4%.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Almost a 10% loan. Because we were not looking at the math the right way.
Here's something to think about too, and think about why. Like, I'm a big believer in thinking about why with all this stuff. So why is it that I can offer? Because there may be a situation here where they simply cannot give you $20,000 and finance it at 0%. Because what are they doing? They're taking on risk.
Totally.
Right. So the
time value of money.
Exactly. So the only way that you can get this discount is by doing what we're talking about.
Right.
Because it's not that they were trying to rip me off.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
Like, I want to make that clear because of the way we're talking about it. It's not that they were trying to rip me off because, the guy, I believe he was completely honest. It was that he had nowhere to move because, let's face it, they're doing business. They need to make a profit. I'm a capitalist. I agree with that.
Right.
When I come in with cash, it's saying, listen, you're taking zero risk.
Yeah.
This trailer was completely made and it's being custom built for me, right? Yeah. And so for the dealer, there's no risk of anything. It's they're just a transaction coordinator saying, give me 20 grand cash. Yep. Even if we only make $500, it's no sweat off our back, right?
And I actually, and I 100% agree with you. There really shouldn't ever be a point where there's a true 0% loan, because that's undervaluing the time value of money.
100%.
And so the point that I'm making is understand the true price and then negotiate the terms. And we understand that there's no such thing as a free lunch. You paid cash for something.
Yeah.
And I will say
access to that
you
cash.
lose access. So down below, I'm putting $20,000 of money that is no longer able to grow or be controlled by you.
Sure.
And Chris, as an entrepreneur, what kind of rate of return would you like to assume in your future?
Let's just say 10%.
10%. Okay. Over how many you're gonna live?
Well, let's go. Well, I tell you what.
How many years do you want me to project this trailer?
I don't care. 30.
30. Okay. So that trailer, that $20,000 trailer,
$348,000. So now I'm gonna get defensive here. So
and
and there's nothing to be defensive about. But So the bottom line is, just for full transparency, for me, for everybody, so you understand, this is why I'm a big believer in talking about using this and asset strategy.
Yes.
What I always have called the abundance banking strategy is you have the ability to invest in things and buy assets. Because to me, like, if you don't know me, but like, I'm really passionate about this world, but I'm also really I'm a wackadoo entrepreneur who always is looking for ways to make extra income inside cash flow. And so with this, there's a website called Outdoorsy. Not to get too detailed, I'm going to do a separate video on this, on side hustles, but like, I'm going to be able to cash flow this asset. If I only rent this out 4.5 days a month, I'm going to make 100% return on investment over 5 years, right? And so from that perspective, like, I'm able to, because of this strategy, and like, and if I were to, you know, just if you just focus on nothing but this, don't worry about the rate of return on your policy. Like, you focus on this, you get the rate of return plus you get the increase in your quality of life. And that's the part when you say, like, there's so much more to it that we say all the time. That is the thing. Like, I can rent this out for a long weekend once a month and then have it 3 weeks a month for my family the rest of the year. Not only does it not cost me money, I'm making money, I'm improving the quality of life, I'm spending more time with my kids, more time with my family, being more engaged.
And I want to be very clear, the purchase is that's justified. And like, you just, like, that's amazing. And how we purchase that, 100%. And the reason I'm such a huge fan of the and asset is Chris just bought something amazing for his family that's going to cash flow. That's actually an asset. Not when you think about it, but it actually is, because he's going to be making money with it.
I'm using it as a business.
100%. Yeah. And there's write-offs. There's a lot of different advantages to that. And also, how you purchase anything. Number one, there has consequences. Number two, there's long-term consequences. The fact of the matter is, I'm a fan of the and asset because it allows your money to continue to grow and take control of it in things like this. And so I think it's just a good example of, like, why we're not crazy when we start talking about this.
Totally.
And 100%. It's like,
it's a real life example.
When people go like, why would I borrow at 5% if I could get 0%? Well, I want you to understand, is it a true 0%?
Right. For sure. No.
And if 100%. It is a true 0%, take that.
100%. Yeah. But you never know until you have the cash to offer them. And if like, if you negotiate the price with cash first and get that down as low as you can, and then they're willing to offer you 0%, take that all day long.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
it's a true 0%.
Right.
Yep.
But you don't know until you have the cash to offer to negotiate with.
Yeah.
And it's really, really powerful when you have the cash, because it's awesome when you go through that, and I'm kind of on a high because I just got it done. But like, it's so cool when you go in and you know that you just got that deal, and you have the negotiating power and the ability to just walk out if they didn't want to do it, because somebody else is going to do it.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope that helps serve you in a way. Definitely think about it. Really take these variables into consideration when you're looking at your next car purchase, home purchase, like any kind of business, like any kind of major capital expense, right? Yeah. Like, you got to take this into consideration. So go out there, crush it. Have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk to you soon.